There's no shortage of red threads or any type of threads like these, but yeah, I'm just gonna, for historical sake, I'm going to read this red thread. Mediocre becomes unacceptable to the future of music production with AI. And yeah, I've seen a lot of these AI generated songs. I myself use AI powered singing software, specifically Synthesizer V. Hopefully, you can see the text. We have AI now that can generate whole songs from just prompts like, oh, yeah, like they already have a incomplete sentence at the end. I think that once the shock wears off, it becomes clear that they are incredibly good at generating mediocre music. Yeah, that's true. Mediocre, as in still very professional and technically good, but forgettable like most music are. Except for the 5% or so songs that will still be listened to years after release. Overall, true. Overall, I feel the sentiments. Anyone can now generate mediocre music quickly, and then there are some implications to this. The standard of music released by professional musicians will go up dramatically. One reason being that you can't release an album that's merely as good or slightly better than what a normie can produce themselves with AI. One reason that being you can't release an album that's merely as good. But what is one? The standard of music released by professional musicians will go up dramatically. One reason being that you can't release an album that's merely as good or slightly better than what the normie can produce themselves with AI. But more importantly, musicians themselves. I don't understand the previous sentence. But more importantly, musicians themselves won't have to start from scratch. They can start with AI and capitalize on the missed opportunities. It can be a running start that's far superior to starting from a blank canvas. That's true. If you generate a few songs, especially with UDO, you must have gotten that feeling of this is great, but if I had this in the DAW, I can make it so much better. Which takes me to we will get tools that will effortlessly bring AI generated songs into your DAW so that you can work on them. We have all the tools individually, they just need to be combined. AI can extract vocals from a wave, then it should be able to separate all the instruments as separate files. Those stems can be used to recreate the MIDI notes for each instrument. Similar to what Ableton can do already, but Ableton sucks at this currently, especially when trying to extract chords. I agree with that sentiment. With an AI tool, this can be perfected. The last thing you need is to have your synthesizers all tuned to replicate the sounds from the song. There's actually software, two things, I forgot what the name is, that does that, and at least one of them does it pretty darn well. It can't do fully. It can't do the really more complex synthesizer sounds. All of these things are in principle easily done by AI. I'd like to hear some input on this. Blah blah blah. I'm really curious how music producers will tap to this. However it plays out, the quality of professional music will go up. Quality can be very subjective. Okay, I suspect that music producers will have to embrace AI generation as part of their development process. I agree with that sentiment. If you see it playing out differently, please comment. I'm not looking for any copium in the comments that downplay the significance of this development. It's here on this massive and will only get bigger from here. Let me just refresh the page so I can see. I just want to see. Does it sort by most recent comments? This guy says corny post and mostly incorrect. I'm going to downvote because it's a black and white topic. You're gonna have people who want it and people who don't want it. It all ties into the system right now. If AI existed and we didn't have political systems like capitalism to keep humans moving, we have good. There's a word missing there. If we have good something missing word and housing and people just lived, then yeah, nobody would care. But most of everybody makes music so they can turn it into a living. The only people who say otherwise are those who just accept the fate of never being signed. But the truth is, if money was offered, they'd take it. This is the main reason AI is frowned upon, is because it will interfere with business practices. Let's go back to that first sentence. So most of everybody makes music so they can turn it into a living. I at least halfway disagree with that. There's a lot of people who just do this for fun. If 5 people use AI to speed up production that would take months in under a week, then they just undermine hundreds of people against AI who took time and patience to create this art. But if money in the system wasn't there, then nobody would care, like L'Oreal. And only that AI will eventually blur the line between humans and robots. If you ever achieve the Terminator level AI sentence, and yes, it's unavailable, that humans will look at a painting or song and not be able to tell any difference whatsoever. I mean, that's already possible. That's already happening. I can't tell the difference between AI generated and real life. If the prompt is not too out there, especially if I squint my eyes, especially the good part about it, especially if I'm distracted. Also, my mind is distracted to tell if it's AI generated or not. Good part about AI is it allows those who struggle with developing a vision to hear and see that vision come to life. True. The bad part about this is literally it doesn't work for you. The brain naturally disagrees with that because we live in a system where doing your own work is more valid. a very odd pair of glasses to see through. I'm against AI mainly because of the fact that people investing in AI don't care how it affects the economy for the lower class. True. The rich who spend billions on improving it just want to replace us to get more money and whatnot. True. The idea of AI robots isn't about bringing us a utopia. That's what's crazy about this world is no government ever focuses on the utopian idea. Yeah, I'll give it an upvote. As a twist of fate, I'm hoping worse imperfect music becomes hot because we can tell it's made by humans. You know, I can agree with that sentiments. I can get on board with that, at least at parts of my life. Was this Unstable Fable, War and Peace? What the was this?
Do not fear the sound you hear.
I don't. Yeah, it's just some random music. Help. Fuck you. I don't know if the content in the song has anything to do with it, but, you know, no context, and I'm going to downvote it. I've been concerned that AI is going to overtake human capabilities by an overwhelming margin for the last decade or so. The AI that I think people should be concerned with is that for analysis and generating code. Basically, soon there will be AI that can make AI that writes music much better than humans can write AI to write music. Really? And the music AI made by those music AI made by those code AI will make music that is better at targeted appeal to demographics derived from listening profiles gathered from YouTube, Spotify, etc. But when those things start happening, then we'll fall shortly behind. Don't worry too much about being put out of work. I don't know. It's a little feels kind of baseless. My guy's a secular technological millenarian. I don't know what this means. Google's this term. It's a person who believes that there will be significant change, utopia, dystopian, millenarian, and believes that change will be from advancing technological, which is an empirical rather than spiritual interpretation, secular. Maybe it's time for me to leave this round. I'm not really getting much from it anymore. It's not going to make anything good, though. Art contains expression, pain, emotions. AI is just a giant poser. Lots of people have poor taste. AI can definitely fill those orders. I'm just gonna... This one talks about Suno. Let me just read this one more response, because it mentions Suno, which is, I think, one of the newer AI platforms, and I think it's getting good reviews. Final one. AI will become, and already sort of is, a tool that artists can use to enhance their workflows. My friends are always showing me some guide they found some song they found made on Suno or some of the other AI platforms by typing a few lines of prompt. They have yet to hear one that impresses me as a piece of art. They can be good for a quick laugh, like the banjo tune my roommate made of Bill Clinton denying his affair. They can be totally serviceable on a lo-fi study playlist or as a background for a corporate training video. But the AIs don't have taste, true. They can't make artistic decisions in the same way a human musician can. I looked at some of those demo songs made either from Suno or its competitor that people were talking about, and some of those songs are just as good as human-generated songs that are generating big crowds in concerts. It's true. Without taste, the AIs are basically just throwing algorithmically generated memes at the wall to see what sticks. No, people don't demand amazing songs, bombastic songs all the time. People want stuff that's easy to listen to. The majority of people want stuff that's easy to listen to, that doesn't make them think too hard in all the various ways that can be interpreted. Like, people just want to dance and relax. And great songs, challenging songs stand the test of time, but there is a big market for simple songs too. I think we probably will need strong sentient AI to exist before AI tools can consistently create meaningful songs that people actually care to seek out and listen to beyond the novelty value. I use AI generated tracks as inspiration for tracks when I'm in the creative rut these days. If I can't think of a melody or what sounds to use, I have Suno spit out something based on the prompt and then recreate the parts I like in the DAW with my own additions. I haven't tried Suno yet. Let me try Suno. My point about standards rising is probably moot. This year, the average SoundCloud song on Spotify has 50 streams. This is because 40,000 songs a day are released to the platform. Most of them are either bad or just don't have any marketing firepower to help them get play. The fact that anybody can push a song on streaming platforms basically for free just means there's a lot more noise in the market now, not that the quality bar has actually fallen. If anything, I think this is probably because the net increase the quality of music towards the top of the market, because lower barriers to access means that there's more natural competition for record deals and marketing contracts. DAW integration, on the other hand, is probably the next big step. Whichever DAW manages to implement this earliest and best will see a massive increase in their market share over the next 5 years. I won't be surprised if Avid or Apple are already working on this for their DAWs. I hope Ableton makes a priority, but considering they don't even have ARA support yet and just released Ableton 12, I'm surprised if they they first pass the post. Then I'll upvote that post. And I use Ableton a lot extensively. I've used it for at least 5 years. I love Ableton. There's session mode where it's like a grid. You can put ideas in different lanes. Each lane is a different instrument. You can put different ditties in different lanes, different drum patterns, different lanes. You can mix and match different ideas together really quickly. It's been the most evolutionary part of my workflow, and I think other DAWs, especially Logic, have something like that. Logic is Mac OS only, but yeah, Ableton won't. I don't think Ableton will ever fall behind that far, even though it feels more clunky compared to Reaper. Ableton won't. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever see Ableton as a company fold in my lifetime. I'm gonna end the video right here.